Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this presentation. It's a briefer presentation than what I'll be giving on November 19th to the Society of One-Place Studies. That one I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. It's an hour long. This one, it's only about a half an hour presentation that I'm going to play. I've pre-recorded. And then I'm going to come back into the room and I can answer any questions you have. And then I want to share a little bit more if there's time. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Tree back in 2018 when I did a Google search. Hello, everyone. My name is Azure Robinson, and I found WikiTree back in 2018 when I did a Google search for my ancestor. I'm a volunteer project leader, and one of the projects I'm leading is One-Place Studies. So that's what I'd like to talk to you about today, is how to use WikiTree for a one-place study. First, I'd like to share a little bit about WikiTree. Chris Whitten started WikiTree back in 2008, and his goal was to have one global tree, a tree that would always be free. WikiTree has a single family tree, and that's similar to Family Search or We Relate in that we collaborate on our shared ancestor profiles. WikiTree now has over 30 million profiles and almost 1 million members. Join the community by registering your name, password, and email. Membership levels signal your level of participation: guest, family member, and Wikigenealogist. So upgrading to the next level of membership is free, as all of WikiTree is. Upgrading to the family member level from a guest level is done by setting your genealogy communication preferences. This is where you set and show who you'd like to communicate with, what surnames, locations, and topics you're interested in, and then you can share a message on the top of your profile as well. Upgrading from family member to Wikigenealogist is done by signing the honor code. This honor code is a commitment to collaboration, accuracy, understanding and courtesy toward other members, respecting privacy and copyrights, giving credit, citing sources, and agreeing to the shared mission to increasing the world's common store of knowledge and keeping information as free and open as possible. From any page on WikiTree, you can search for your ancestor, and there is a first name and a last name field. The last name field is also where you can put in a WikiTree ID if you know what that is. So this is just a view of what that search page will look like and the options to search by. Here's an example of an ancestor profile on WikiTree. Across the top, we have the tabs. Edit is to edit the data fields for the profile and the body of the page, which uses wiki markup. The Images tab allows you to upload images for this person. The Family Tree and Tools tab gives you a view of this person's family tree and the tools available for this profile. The Changes tab shows you any change made to the profile, when it was made, who made it, and you can also click into the details and see a before and after of the change made. The Privacy tab allows you to add to the trusted list for this person and also set the privacy of the profile, and that just means what's visible to the public. The quick links section there is going to take you to the categories, comments, matches, and sources for this profile. A category is just going to be around locations or occupations, or perhaps a maintenance category. Maybe this person needs a biography written, or maybe a birth record. So you can add a maintenance category, and the people who work on improving profiles or maybe doing record lookups, they utilize those maintenance categories to help you find what you need or get what you need for a profile. The comments section is another way to communicate with other members about this profile. The matches section shows you any matches for this ancestor profile in the database. And then the sources section is self-explanatory. These are the sources that were added to the profile to support the facts of this person's life. Next part of this profile we'll talk about is the section showing the profile managers for the profile with a link there that you can send a private message to that person. It also shows the profile ID for the profile, when it was created and last modified, and then how many times it's been accessed. The body of the profile is up next and is on the right-hand side of this slide. So the biography, of course, is where you get an opportunity to put flesh on the bones of your ancestor and really tell their story. The research notes section is going to be a section where you can add information about the research that was done. Maybe there's disputed children for this person, so you can really share more information there. And then, of course, the sources section. You can add family to WikiTree via GEDCOM or singly. The process that we use to upload your GEDCOM is a little different than other websites because it's going to check the system and see if that ancestor might already exist on WikiTree. So the link for that help page is at the bottom of this slide. That's Help GEDCOM, and you can read more about how to do that there. My preferred way to add somebody to WikiTree is to just go ahead and add them one at a time. So you can do that by clicking on the relationship link that you'd like to add. For instance, here you see a link for father and mother that is needed. Once you've clicked that link, a new page will open, and this is the form that you'll need to fill out to create that profile. The first section is going to ask for the names and vital dates for the person you're adding, and the next section is going to tell you if the system found any matches in the database. So if it hasn't found any matches, then you can go ahead and proceed to the next section where you enter the rest of that person's information and add a source. And then you can go ahead and click Add. Providing source citations for any profiles you add to WikiTree is, of course, very important so that others can verify the information for themselves. The link at the bottom of this slide takes you to the Help Sources page, and we have some example source citations there for you, as well as some information about sourcing. WikiTree has some wonderful privacy controls. This will control the amount of information that's visible to the public. For instance, living non-member profiles, the privacy is required to be unlisted, and that means that no information of it is visible to the public. For member profiles, the options range from private, very limited information, to private with public biography and family tree. And it's important to note, for those with DNA tests, the family tree should be public so that the DNA tools can function for you. So how do you get around WikiTree? In the upper right-hand corner of any page on WikiTree, you'll see the menu options. The My WikiTree menu options are options specific to your account and profile. The next option is going to be for your profile if you're logged in and you're anywhere but somebody else's profile page. So these menu options will be specific to the profile of the WikiTree ID that's showing there. The next options are for the Add menu options. And so this is where you can add your DNA test information, your followed tags, and this is where you can add an unrelated person to WikiTree. The next options are the Find options to find different pages on WikiTree. And this is where the main search page can be found. The help menu options help you use and navigate the site. And you'll see there that the main help page is in bold and the forum for this community is in bold there as well. The G2G is what we call it. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. So next I'd like to share about the navigation homepage. This is a good jumping off point for working on WikiTree. It has a scratch pad, and this is just a place for you to keep track of notes or maybe have a task list. It's only visible to you, so that's a really great little tool to use. On the right-hand side here of this page that's showing on the slide is the Getting Started section that is default for any new members on WikiTree. And there's really great information on how to get started at WikiTree. So I definitely recommend checking that out if you're new. There's information about changing how this page is displayed and what information is going to be showing up in the G2G discussion feed, the family activity feed, and the wiki genealogy feed there at the bottom of this slide. So go ahead and check those out and get yourself all set up. Those feeds are going to be keyed off of the genealogy communication preferences that you set up towards the beginning. Those are those locations, surnames, and topics that you'll be interested in following, and that's the result will be showing up in the feeds there. This is one of my favorite tools at WikiTree is the connections and relationship finders. So since it's one tree, meaning one profile for each ancestor on the global tree, once you've connected to that main tree, you can check your relationship or connection to other profiles. So this is a really great tool for research, DNA confirmations, and can be a lot of fun. So that tool can be accessed from any category. So locations, cemeteries, name and place studies, or other topics. So this kind of gives you an idea of what that is. This is an example study here, and these are my connections to this one place study, those ancestors that are in that one place study. Another great feature of WikiTree is the DNA tools and resources that we have there. So once your DNA test information has been added to your profile, within 24 hours, it will populate out to your relatives' profiles. So this is just the information about your test. It's not the raw data. So for example, if you've taken an Ancestry DNA test, you would put that in as well as your username. And I'm providing an example on the right-hand side of this slide to show what shows up on a profile, on one of your relatives' profiles. For example, you'll see anybody who's taken a test that's related to them. And it actually shows a percent of a match example that they should have. On the left-hand side of this slide, there's a link to a YouTube video for WikiTree and DNA, and it's with Peter Roberts, and Mags Galden is chatting there with Chris Whitten. So it's a really good video to check out. And then there's a link at the bottom of this slide, and Help DNA. Check that out. That's where you can get more information about DNA on WikiTree. From the Family Tree and Tools tab on any profile, you can access a plethora of tools you could use for that profile. So as you can see, I've got a screenshot of all the different tools that are available there. And so there's a lot to check out, a lot of different options there to use on that profile. I was very excited when I found the source library at WikiTree. It's a great resource that we have. And so this is a library of pages that members have organized by location, topics, and families. And these are all about free online books or journals. And there's also a section for books owned by members who are willing to do lookups in those books for you. So it's a great resource. I definitely recommend checking that out. WikiTree projects are groups of members organized to collaborate on topics, locations, surnames, or volunteer activity. There's a great video on the WikiTreeers YouTube channel about WikiTree projects and leadership. So I definitely recommend checking that and the Help Projects page out that's linked to the bottom of the page. WikiTree has a robust help section to answer any of your questions. So that'll be category WikiTree help, and that's the link showing at the bottom of this page. On this page, you can also access the great introduction tutorial, how to use WikiTree. Also, Connie Knox did a wonderful video with Mindy Silva on how to use WikiTree, and that's on her channel, Genealogy TV. I definitely recommend checking that out. One of the best aspects of WikiTree is its community. One of the communication tools that we have there is the Genealogist to Genealogist forum. You can ask questions, share information, request translations or transcriptions or lookups, and a lot more. One-place studies on WikiTree are created as a free space page. The study has a sticker that can be added to profiles. When you add that sticker to a profile, it also adds the study category to the profile. The category groups all ancestor profiles in the study together, allowing you to use some of the tools available on the site. My first study was for a ghost town named after my uncle's second great-grandfather. It was a way for me to take information my aunt had put together and share it. It's a small study for a set time period, so it was a really great introduction to one-place studies. So here we see the body of the page for Andersonia, and you can see we've got the sticker for the one-place studies directory and the sticker for the Society for One-Place Studies. And then the next sticker you see is the study sticker. And that's where I was explaining that when you add that sticker to an ancestor profile, it adds a study category to that profile. And next we have the geography section, sharing the details of the geography for this location. And here's the history. This is just a brief snapshot of what's on the study page, just to give you an idea of what you can do with the wiki markup, with images and the like. Since this is a small study, I went ahead and created a table to display the residents for this location on the page. And here are the sources for this study. And here's the category page for the study that I was talking about. So all of these ancestor profiles have the sticker, and so they're in the study. And in the upper right-hand corner there, you can see that button for checking your connections to the people in this category. And here's the main profile for the study. The town was named after this gentleman. And you can see on the right-hand side, the DNA connection section, that there's somebody here who's taken a test who's related to him. So it gives you another example of what that looks like on a profile. The next study I'd like to share is a study of a building. As with the previous study, this one is also for a limited time frame. This study utilizes additional free space pages for more detailed research. There is a page for each of the United States Census starting in 1910 through 1950 because there was a large transient population. The residents were volunteers. Some were only there a year, others several decades. Here's a snapshot of part of the study page. We have the study sticker with the category, and then we have the Society for One Place Studies sticker and the One Place Studies directory. And then we also have a religion sticker because this place was affiliated with a religion for a period of time, almost 100 years, or actually I guess it's over 100 years. And so that sticker will show the affiliation there for the religion. And here's the population section for this study page. So instead of the other one where we listed out each of the residents because it was a small study, as you can see from 1910 to 1950, there was quite a few people that resided in that location over the years. So we have this table, and it links then to the research pages where then you can see the list of the residents at that time. So just shows the example of what you can do on WikiTree. You can have multiple free space pages that are going to break out the population as is showing here, or maybe research pages, or just more information, more detailed information about your study. And here we've got a task list section set up just to break out different things that need to be done. And you can see I've got a status chart of where I'm at on some of these tasks. And as you can see, I've got broken out that there are biographies that need to be written, or ones that need to be connected to the global family tree. So that's something you can do with WikiTree Plus, which is an independent application or tool that you can use on the database at WikiTree. So that's just another benefit. You can check to see how many profiles that are in your category, the study category, are connected versus not. The next study is a street study. This street only has 2 homes and a small amount of residents, so only non-living profiles have been added to this study. The Cemeterist project on WikiTree was started back in 2016. It has now been placed under the umbrella of the One Place Studies project, as cemetery pages are place studies themselves. This study is another example of using additional free space pages for detailed research. In this case, there is a page for each section of the cemetery. I wanted to share this profile with you from the cemetery study because it really showcases the community at WikiTree. For those children that die young, their profiles are pretty empty because the biography doesn't have a lot to it. So you can see in the upper left corner of this slide, there's an image of a tree with an empty swing. And in the lower right-hand corner, there's a sticker for saying that this person died young. It's part of the Remember the Children project, which is a way to make sure that we're adding profiles to WikiTree for even the ones that died young. So it's just a really great project that was just started from different members getting together and saying that they wanted to remember the children. So there actually are images that you can add to the body of the biography. And then also you can add, which I should have done here, you can add an image as the main profile image instead of the pink image that's showing up a female profile up there that you can see on the page. So you can add, instead of that default photo, there's actually photos of children or empty bassinets or different images, whichever one you'd like to pick. You can actually set as the main profile image, so it'll show there. So there's different things like that that's part of that project. The other example is of how the community really responds to you when you reach out for assistance in the forum, the genealogist to genealogist forum. I don't understand Japanese, so wasn't able to understand what was written on this headstone. So just entered a post asking for assistance, and within the day I had information about who she was. From that translation, I was then able to research and find her death certificate, and I was able then to add her parents to her profile. So those are just some examples of the community at work at WikiTree. And here's a snapshot of the Fairmont Cemetery study page. Main reason I wanted to show this to you is I wanted to show you that this study is actually nested within the Raton, New Mexico one-place study because it's within the city limits. In the to-do section of this study page, I've got a table set up to show a kind of rough idea of how the cemetery is laid out, and for each section showing the status of completion for that section. And at the bottom there of the table, you'll see I have an unknown marker image, and that link takes you to a page, another page that's part of this study that has all of the unknown marker images attached to it. Each image has the GPS coordinates listed on it so that that information is cataloged. And this is showing more of the to-do list. There are images that need still uploaded, biographies that need written, profiles that need to be connected to the global tree. And then I've got categories set up for profiles that need further investigation and which section they're in there. So you can really do a lot of organization of your profiles and your study this way. And there's a part of the page showing notable burials at the cemetery. And also there are several related projects for this cemetery because there is a worldwide disasters project. And there were a few mining disasters in the area. So there are several of those ancestors buried in this cemetery. So that gives you more members that you can collaborate with. They're working at the information from a different angle, basically. This page is showing you section 1. So this is drilling down basically from the cemetery page into this other page that's specific to this section. And I'm just detailing out when the pictures were taken. And you can see there, I've got the start and end dates, just so that there's all the details are all together. And this table just allows you to click around into the different sections from this section. And this is just snapshots of the page, this section 1 page, just further down. So there's a to-do section because there are markers that I wasn't able to find that were in the book that I was using. So they just need some more investigation, and that's giving information about the plot where they should be, just so somebody could do some more research. And then the second image there in the lower right hand corner is just, I've got a whole big table and it's listing out all the profiles that are in this section. And it also has the GPS coordinates listed out there, and a little, you can see there's a little image of the headstone that actually takes you to the page of that image. A newer tool made available to us is a map for all one-place studies. another for all cemeteries on WikiTree. It's just another way to look at the database. And here's the cemeteries map. You can see there are quite a few cemeteries on WikiTree already. WikiTree really is a natural fit for hosting one-place study. Not only can you add profiles to your study and see the relations and connections for them, but you have access to a great community of members for collaboration and assistance. Thank you so much for watching this video about one-place studies on WikiTree. The handout for this video is in the description below. Thank you everybody for watching the video that I put together for upcoming presentation to the Society for One-Place Studies. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and post them in the comments. Yes, I did make that mistake a couple times, Steve, in a couple of these videos. I forgot to unmute myself when I put myself back in. So thank you for your patience. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Stephen. I'll definitely take a look at the video and see if I can make it so it's clear. Does anybody have any questions about one-place studies on WikiTree? I've actually created a post out on G2G so that anybody who has questions that maybe we don't have time for today, they can post them in there or answer this post on G2G. So thank you. Yes, Stephen, I can definitely help you make a cemetery section table. Not a problem at all. Momo, I'm sorry, I don't quite understand the question. Is it problematic to start on in another country? Do you mean a one-place study, starting one in another country? We have one-place studies all over the world on WikiTree for one places all over. So yeah, just you can answer the join post for the one-place studies if you're interested in having one created for you. No, I get it now. I'm sorry, just saw your reply. Yes, you can do one for anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are currently. If you have information or you have a real interest in a certain specific area, please go ahead and get one started or answer the join post and we'll create one for you. Oh, Stephen, I've been doing my own study of some of my family homes and who lived in them. Might have to do it here on WikiTree. Yeah, it's a great place because you can, that sticker, like I said, it adds that category so you can group those people together and look at the information different ways using WikiTree Plus. I definitely recommend checking out Alesh's video that he did yesterday. I think it was Ask Alesh. So I heard that that's really good. That's one I want to make sure I get to see. Thank you, Deborah. Yes. Okay, well, if nobody else has any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and close out this presentation. And I've added the link for the G2G post. Like I said, if you have questions, feel free, ask them in there. I'm happy to answer any of your questions there. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. I really appreciate your time.